welcome back again. This video, I'll probably put this one on thread 2 because I think this is kind of going to turn into a little project, this 6900, and it'll probably go on quite a while. So as I said before, for those of you that have been following this little project, thank you for all of the comments and the suggestions on Facebook and on my YouTube videos. And yeah, as we left this radio before, we changed the rather basic microphone, the M6 microphone that comes with the radio, and I think everybody agrees that that microphone isn't very good at all. Gives a very scratchy kind of radio report. So we changed that for, there we go, the KPO, the NM532 power mic, and that improved things a lot in my own testing and also in my own radio reports that I've had back on the 4 o'clock net. But I think I'm currently about 80% there on this 6900, but I do think, and going by Pucker Dave's report and his transmission from just outside St Albans where I am, he's getting a better clarity out of his radio. He's giving me a stronger signal, and I think Dave is about 100% at the capabilities of these 6900s, and I think I'm about 80. So I've got a little way to go. And there's a few things that, as I say, that keeps coming up on suggestions, and that is the power supply. Now, people have come up and said that the radio appears to be struggling for power. You may notice that that display dims up and down, and I'm not very happy with that. The fact that tells me something is quite wrong. Now, I did swap out these 15 amp power supplies. This is the one that runs the 9900, and I swapped it over, and the one I took out runs the 9900 no problems. Now, the 9900 draws more ampage than the 6900. They reckon that the 6900 draws about 9 to 10 amps, and the 9900 being just that little bit more powerful, well, that can draw 12 amps, and the supplies are 15 amps. So I don't think it's the power supply itself, although I am going to try a different power supply. Going to try a different. So I've actually ordered up a very cheap 33 amp power supply, ones that were recommended by Steve 1791 about a year ago. So I'm going to swap out the power supplies for something a bit more powerful. I'm a little bit worried about RF noise, so whether or not that will work. But one thing that I wasn't particularly happy with, and has come up, is the thickness of the power cable on the 6900. Now, compared to the 9900, the power cable is a lot thinner, and compared to a HF radio, it is a lot thinner. Now, I looked on Knights because someone commented and said that they bought a 20 amp power cable with a Uniden connector from Knights, and I looked on Knights and I couldn't actually see one that's one that will fit into basically the 6900 compatible. That's what I was looking for, the one that was compatible with the 6900. They do I think a 5 amp and they do a 7 amp. This might be 10 amp possibly. So with that flickering of the display, I'm just quite suspicious that maybe this power cable isn't strong enough, it's not beefy enough. So as I have some 20 amp fused power cable knocking about, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically sort of hack into this cable from the plug, and I'm going to replace the thinner lead with a 20 amp lead, and then sort of give that a go, and then see if that I feel that if I can cure that flickering on the display, then I know that the radio is getting enough ampage. So yeah, a new revised power cable, a new, more beefier, even though it's a very cheap one, power supply already on ordered. Some other things as well from Knights, just a new patch lead, and then just a little bit of help, there, just to get my signal out a little bit further, because this at its peak puts out I think 40 watts, but kind of a lot of my contacts being sort of further out, just going over the 20-mile mark, some of them, and others across London, which is very, very busy. Of course, they're used to me using, possibly almost twice that power at times. So they're struggling to hear me on the 40 watts. Plus, it's also driving the radio rather hard. So I'm going by Dave, Pucker Dave's setup. I'm just copying Dave because he sounds so bloody good. That's the thing. So we're going to copy Pucker Dave's setup, and we're going to sort of use a little bit of help there. So yeah, that's it. So I'm going to sort of tidy it all up a little bit. I don't want loads of wires around when the power supplies come. I'm going to have 2 power supplies, one for the help and one for the radio. And I think maybe, put it on the wall and build up a nice little neat shack so it looks quite good. If anyone sort of does look in here. So yeah, that's all going to be coming up. It's going to take me a while. Hope to get it done before the missus goes in hospital for operation, because I'll be a bit tied up with helping her after that. But yeah, it's going to be over probably 2 or 3 weeks or something. So I'll put updates up on thread 2, and then eventually when it's all finished I'll do an introduction video on thread 1, and then I'll link it onto these videos if you want to come and see the long story and listen to me waffle on. But that's what's going on. So cheers, thanks again for all the suggestions on Facebook and YouTube. I'm reading them all. And I say I'm acting upon them. I'm coming to the same conclusions myself. The only other thing I might keep it for now. I've got this little V4 here, this little switch box. I don't know what people's opinions are on that, and I'm not sure what it's rated at. I bought it second hand, like a lot of my stuff, so I'm not sure if that's rated at whatever, but I'm sure it probably would handle the 40 watts that's putting out. Anyway, I'm waffling. Thank you for watching on thread 2. Stay safe and look out for the next one.